Hello, loves, and welcome to Tea Time with Monica. Today, we are discussing loving Black culture with Donovan of the Posh Standard. Now, let me tell you all about the Posh Standard. In a world where the descendants of African slaves are still fighting for a voice in today's society, there is a demanding need for a platform with an uplifting and informative spirit. The Posh Standard Media Group LLC pledges to be the voice and has made a commitment to invoking change using a fashionable approach. The Posh Standard Media Group uses media, events, and multiple platforms to provide a new standard of business and self-promotion. Let your presence reflect excellence. I love that. Welcome, Donovan.
That's my favorite quote.
I love it. Well, you picked a great one to end that bio with. It
Direct
really,
quote too.
yeah, it
Direct
really
quote.
sets the tone for your brand. So I'm going to start with a quote like I always do. And this one says, "Truth is, society puts Black men and women against each other because together, the two of them cannot be fucked with." What are your thoughts on that quote?
Shit, I love it. It's unapologetic. It's unapologetic, and it describes everything that I am.
Yeah, it definitely does because you are so unapologetically Black. I mean, blacker than black,
Yeah.
black. Like, yes, but I love it because I think, especially with things that have gone on this summer and just things in general in the Black community and in society as a whole, we need that. We definitely need to, be unapologetically Black. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I got to cut.
Did
Ah!
you get a little wine in your eye? It's okay, baby. He's like, no, no. Audience that can't see him. He's like, he was sipping on that wine and got to you a little bit, huh?
I tried.
It's okay, honey. You gotta be sipping something sometimes.
All right. No,
So,
my eyes start watering.
oh, it's okay. Okay, so give us
The
a little
lights.
lights, but you look good, honey. That skin is well oiled and smooth, honey. But so yeah, give us a little bit about your background.
um, Personally or business?
A little bit of both, because I do want you to also, after you tell us a little bit about your background, kind of how that folded into you creating the Posh Standard brand.
I well, I used to go by a mantra called "Tragedy to Triumph."
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of extremes that happened in my life up to now. Like starting with even something simple as being born. The doctors telling me that, well, telling my parents that I never walk because they had the way I was born, they had to do surgery on my legs and rebuild them up.
Wow.
So I was in cast up to the age of 3 or 4. My mom said I came along the walls one day, like walking alongside the walls with cast on both of my legs.
Really?
Right. So like, and that kind of theme just followed me to where I'm at now. Like just random super bad things happening, and I'm just flipping it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I've seen on your page that you mentioned that you may have been homeless at one time, correct?
Yeah, I was homeless for over a year. Well, a year, 9 months almost.
Wow. And so does that play a part in like what you do with your brand and what you do for yourself?
Absolutely. I'm cheap. And I
You're not
always work
cheap,
in.
you're frugal. You're
Yeah,
frugal.
I'm a mixture of both. I definitely value every penny because I refuse to go back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always working multiple jobs, doing multiple tasks. Posh itself has 7 to 8 different streams of income. So there's
Wow.
always money coming in and always money stacking because I don't want to go back to that. A lot of my initiatives are homelessness initiatives. I just had one recently.
Right, for your
So
birthday,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So they play a part.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about what you did for your birthday, because I thought that was very telling of who you are and in a way you give back to the community.
Right. Well, it started on Primer. I was like, I wanted to do something positive because it was COVID. So I asked my followers. My followers ended up giving me $200.
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up matching that 200, a little over that, and gathered up and spending 500 on $20 gift cards to
Mm-hmm.
hand out at Union Station here in DC.
Wow.
And it was so uplifting. It was so dope. People helped. Like I probably helped like what 15 to 20 folks. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, when I went home, I was like, I could do this shit on a larger scale.
Right.
So I marinated on that for like a few weeks. So my
Mm-hmm.
birthday, I usually ball out on myself. So I was like, let's do something different. So I created care packages,
Mm.
uh, totaling like $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
Random things like for my women's packages, I had maxi pads in there. I had wipes. I had masks. I had different type of food and snacks. I
Right.
had gift cards to go for them to go get actual food rather than just spend money on stuff. It was jam packed with stuff, and I ended up going back to Union Station and handing them all out.
That's amazing because, if you're in the DMV and you've been to Union Station, what the homelessness is like around there, or just general in the city, and to have you just say, you know what, I know I've come up, I had my time in that space, and I definitely want to make sure that I'm giving back and I'm helping those people out. So I think that really is a testament to your work.
I appreciate it.
So let's talk about this fashion audience that can't see him. Okay, listen, you got to go to the YouTube to watch this so you can see this man dress. Now,
Oh my
in
goodness.
the bio of your brand, the Posh Standard, you talk about how you use the fashion. Talk about how fashion plays a part to bring attention to what you're saying.
I always tell people fashion saved my life
Mm-hmm.
numerous of times. Do you know who Francois Bentley is? I hope so.
Yes, I do. Okay, how can you
So,
not? No, okay, that was Dennis
I
Boy back in
mean,
the day with the umbrella. Yes.
so he had a series back in the day called G's to Gents.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't know, even though I'm very vocal about it. I'm from the slums, I'm from the hood.
Mm-hmm.
So leaving the hood, going into college, I was still like, rough around the edges. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
watch the show religiously. He even
Right.
shouted me out sometime at the end of last year. Reposted one of my posts on his page.
Hey now.
And so
It came full circle, huh, for you?
right, right. So fashion just changed my whole way of thinking. And
Mm-hmm.
then fast forward again, I was on campus one day, and this woman walks up to me and was like, "You know what? You fly as shit." I was like, "I
Hey.
appreciate it." And she was like, "You ever thought about modeling?" I was like, "Renisha, Ray of Light in
Mm-hmm.
Louisville. She a photographer." She was like, "You ever thought about modeling?" I was like, "I mean, not really. One thing is I'm shy, and another
Mm-hmm.
thing is I can't afford no photographer for real." She was like, "I'm trying to build my portfolio. Uh, can I shoot you?" I was like, "Shit, all right." So
Mm-hmm.
she shot me. First post, first picture went crazy viral. I went from like 2,000 followers to 10,000 followers in a matter of like a month and a half, 2 months.
Wow.
And so I ended up creating Posh sometime later. And initially, Posh was all fashion all the time. Every
Right.
post, somebody fly, a man or woman fly. Like at the beginning of Posh, I pride it being unisex because a lot of times we have a lot of men's fashion pages and we have a lot of women fashion pages, but
Right.
it's rare that somebody can go somewhere for both.
Right.
So in the midst of doing that for like a year and a half, the Trayvon Martin incident happened. And I
Right.
thought that shit was fucked up that my people didn't know. So fast forward, like I start promoting like togetherness and stuff that I feel like we need to know. So people come for the fashion, but they
Mm-hmm.
stay for the positivity and the
I know
uplift.
that's right, honey. You come for one thing, but you get a little more. You get a little more
Right.
education here, like
Yeah, you double
more than
down
just
because
that.
with our people, you gotta be strategic with how we get our information.
Mm-hmm. You do, because
Because we
you
don't want to hear it. Our people feel like if it don't directly affect them,
right.
then they don't want to fuck with it because it's negative. That's piss poor way of thinking.
That,
Like,
yeah, because I think just if you think of the history of Black people, it's always like, watch out, look out for yourself, and don't help, and not to say don't, but look out for yourself. And if it, like you said, if it doesn't pertain to you, that's over there. I'll deal with it when I
right,
want to.
right.
And we don't need to be like that.
Nah, we be- now we for lack of a better word become ignorant as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I know about white people and oppression, they use our lack of knowledge and lack of knowing against us as a weapon, a tool. And I don't fuck with that at all.
Yeah. No, I get that. You don't, nobody should. And the thing is, I think as Black people, sometimes we don't consider ourselves, some people just don't consider what they call the fall in line type of thing, like, when it came to like the election and people in different political parties, they generally just fall in line as opposed to asking questions, finding out
Yeah,
the truth about things. They just fall in line.
with the
And
majority.
yeah, with the majority. And you don't necessarily always see that in the Black community of the fall in line. It's like some people are just like, no, this is how we have to be. Others are like, why do we have to be that way? It's always a tussle back and forth.
And we're the only group of people that have that touch.
But do you think that has to do with how Black people came to America and the systemic racism and the
I think all of that plays in a factor in this, and people argue with it every day about the Lynch theories, the
Mhm.
Willie Lynch stories. Like at the end of the day, it's literally a manifest of how to distract, divide, and conquer our people. And it's
Right.
crazy that those writings, whether true or not, whether you believe true or not, still exist. It's everything that oppresses and holds us back today.
You're right about that. It does hold us back. So that's why I want to continue to bring light to people like you that are unapologetic about putting the real stuff out there. So, the community knows they get the information and that, it's not uncensored. And that's
Right.
the great thing about social media, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No,
So,
they about to fuck up once this magazine come out because
oh, wait,
I
man.
still
Look, you done mentioned the magazine. We ain't even got there. Giving
no,
the tea, giving the
I'm
tea.
just I'm just adding to the fact that social media limits what I can say with it because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want them to. End of the day, I don't want them to snatch my platform. So
True.
I really had to tone down how I approach a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But the website, the magazine is my own media, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody's not about to tell me how to run my fucking media. So it's about to be lit.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get out there. You got to get your voice out there and you got to tell the story that needs to be told, not the story that people want to hear, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk a little about something. Now, February is the month of love, and you wear this shirt. I date Black women only. Let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The blueprint, the reason of my existence, the Black woman. So,
Do you get a lot of flack for saying that?
yes, and believe it or not, it's mostly from other Black people.
Hmm.
More Black people hate that shit and hate them shirts, hate that apparel line than any white person I come across.
Now, is it men or women or a little bit of both?
It's literally a direct split in between both. There's
Wow.
no either or because there's also a woman version of the shirt.
Mhm.
I only date Black men, and people just express like the one big part about the shirt, about the slogan, about the mission the movement that I started. This says
Mhm.
I. It don't says every Black person should. It don't say you should, we should. It says I, me.
Mhm.
Why does my preference, which is positive, everybody else can date within themselves and nobody better I. Asian community, all Asian community, Latin community, white people been doing it ever since the beginning of time, and even guard their women against Black men at one point in time.
Mhm.
But me being a Black man or she being a Black woman can't say I only date Black men, I only date Black women. It's a problem. And you get a lot of these Black people who be like, well, why you got to be so loud with it? There's nothing wrong with preference. Why you got to be so loud? Why you got to be so ignorant? Ignorant? Loving me is ignorant? The fuck you talking about him?
Well, there is this belief that love is colorless and that you may be limiting yourself. Is those the type of comments you're getting?
I do. And aside from being racist, but I
Well, I
mean,
don't necessarily think it's racist. It's
no,
a preference is a preference.
but you're talking about the comments I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I get the that way of thinking is racist the
Mm.
most. And then the second being, I'm limiting myself by my options. How can you limit yourself with the blueprint? Like everything starts and ends with the black woman, even the black movement in itself. Why the fuck would I even look or even entertain anything else but a black woman? She
Well,
is my existence.
we are pretty magical, you know.
Right.
I love it. So you talked a little bit about this magazine coming and how it's going to give you more room to be a bit more open
Yes.
with your platform. What are your plans for like the first issue? Is it something like groundbreaking?
It's not really groundbreaking. I'm hammering it out. So the first issue gonna be a real soft note while I figure out the ins and outs. Because a lot goes into it. And it's an awful lot. And I'm doing it by myself right now until I enlist other people to help. But
Well, no, let's talk about that because with someone in my audience or someone on my platform may be wanting to contribute. So how can they do that?
They can right now they can just shoot a DM, but as I'm building the structure of it, I don't really need help with the structure and I'm not going to enlist help until I have a whole base to build on. So once I get the base and stuff worked out, then I'm gonna bring people in for different tasks, writers, a lot of writers. I need a lot of writers, other bloggers and stuff.
So what type of content are you looking for with the writers to write about? Is it just fashion, business?
Typical magazine stuff, all that. Business, lifestyle, fashion, date pieces, all that, editorials, all that.
So it's like the one-stop shop of what's going on in the Black community.
Yes, but one thing I want to emphasize with the magazine is putting regular people on. You get all these magazines that are Black, but they never talk about regular shit or the regular Black person. Every person they mention is somebody of status already. They're not talking about the people that's grinding it out and working hard and the random dope ass Black excellence stories. They may repost something or retweet something, but the actual content of their magazine is other famous shit. That bothers me.
Because it's want to get that.
Yeah, it's Black people life outside of people with a following.
Right. It definitely is. I think you're right about that because people pick and choose what they share on social media and what type of following they want to have. But it doesn't mean they're not Black excellence. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just because this person only have 500 followers don't mean that story not worth telling.
So you want to tell the everyday person story in your magazine.
If it's lit, if it's beautiful, if it's uplifting, I'm all for it. I'm behind it.
I know that's right. You like I'm 100% behind all this good shit, huh? Whatever it is.
That's what it is, and that's one of the emphasis. Regular people doing regular shit. We may have stuff like that attract famous people, but for the first bit of issues, like I just want to tell the regular Black person story, the regular entrepreneur story.
So can people submit to have their stories told?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little box where people can nominate folks and stuff. I'm working all that out.
I love it. I'm excited to see this magazine. Do you have a launch date already, or we just wait and see?
Right now it's tentatively April 1st.
All right, coming up soon. Well, I look forward to that. So, it's COVID, right? How do you feel about things going on in the Black community with COVID? What type of education, like what do you think we really need?
I think we have a lot of self-harm being done when it comes to COVID. Like one thing that people are not talking about is we see the white people protesting mass. We see them doing the most, giving the least. And we looking at it and we shunning that and we like, these white people crazy. But young Black people doing the same shit. Folks still in the club. Folks still linking up with their folks. Folks still, let's go to Atlanta. Let's go to Atlanta. Let's turn up. Folks still traveling. People rushing to Vegas, Miami, even Puerto Rico. Like folks just, and then we look on TV and then you hear when people hear the news say, well, the Black community is facing COVID the worst. They have the highest number. They're the most disproportionately affected by this. Then they want to say nah, they just saying that black people in the face. They just no, it's real life. People are really dying from this shit.
Yeah.
And you sitting here doing, if you don't believe in the vaccine, that's on you. But the least you can do if you don't believe in the vaccine is take proper precautions.
Yeah,
Until
definitely.
everybody around you vaccinated. I don't know. I think there's a lot of ignorance going on in the black community when it comes to that.
You know, I think that too, but I also think it has to do with the healthcare disparities in the country.
Yes, but even with I'm a person of I mean, I talk to black people directly. Shit, people don't want to hear. We know about hospitals and the systematic oppression within the health community.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing and should be addressed. But all I'm saying is we need to attack the shit we can attack personally.
Mm-hmm.
Me, your homeboy booking a trip to Puerto Rico isn't systematic racism.
No, it's not.
Your folks, your homeboys, homegirls going to the club when they know that the club ends at 10 for a reason, but they still out here at the bars and shit every weekend. That's not systematic racism. That's pure stupidity. Like it's ignorance. And until we can be real with ourselves without bashing people, because I say that online right now, I get bashed like shit. So like until we can have them conversation without bashing the next person, we sit here just wait until whatever happened with the vaccine at this point.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think part of it is our own self review of what we're doing to make sure we're handling every precaution. Because if we're taking precautions the way we need to be, then yes, then we can talk about it's really just what's going on in the systemic racism in the health community.
But you can't even talk about that. And then people forget the number of black nurses, the number of black doctors there are. Like you making their job harder by being selfish and wanting to go to the club.
Yeah.
Being selfish and wanting to still travel, still have these like all these house parties and parties people still having with no mask, nothing. You making it harder on the next person just because you selfish. Like to me, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, I think people are dealing with, pandemic fatigue, but I also feel like people don't want to believe this is still here.
No,
but
they
it
don't.
is.
So again, like I said earlier, the lack of knowledge of certain shit being used against us. Like because we don't like it's a lot of people that don't even know people who had COVID or know anybody that died from it. So in their head, it's not even a thing. Oh, y'all are just playing. That shit's not real. Or so and so had it.
I don't know how people can say it's not real after all this time.
People to this day, people was under my comments here recently, still think that it's not real. Black people. So, we know white people go on rants about this shit every day, but our people, the people that's dying from it, like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. So how are you using your platform to try to inform, the Black community a little bit more about that?
I speak on like the precautions because you can't really say the C word online like that without the jump out boys coming for you. So I think I mentioned that one time and got ghost banned for like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can't really mention that on direct platforms, but I just try to inform people like the better way, the alternative. You can stay home. You can vibe out at the crib. It's okay.
Yeah.
I promise you're gonna be okay to sit your ass home.
Just for a little while longer.
Believe it or not, this shit's gonna end eventually. You're not gonna be in your house for 3-5 years. It's gonna be all right.
Well, what's the first thing the Posh Standard is gonna do once we are able to come out safely?
See you first, sit and wait to see if it really is safe. Then probably get back to my events.
Okay, and what do you have any specific events that you are looking to hold?
I have a Black Excellence Gala that I've been working on. It's already planned, just waiting on the date.
You're just waiting on the date. And what will be in store for this gala?
Fashion excellence, honorship, a scholarship that come out of it, donation to a women's charity here in DC for domestic violence. Just litness. It's Posh.
I know that's right. Well, I'd be wanting to see all the fashion because, like you said, the fashion brings the people and they get another story.
Yeah.
And I want to see the fashion foremost and all. But you keep repeating Black excellence, and I think people have a different definition here and there. What is your definition of Black excellence?
My definition of Black excellence is doing what you need to do with little to no tools, and you still made that shit happen. We already, Black person born, 2 strikes against them already.
Mm-hmm.
2 strikes. One that they're Black, and 2 that they're Black in America. We all living on 1 strike from fucking everything up for life.
Mm-hmm.
So you out here every day, you got your bed to go to work. That's Black excellence. You helping somebody that otherwise nobody else would have everybody would have just walked by. That's Black excellence to me. Doing what you need to do, doing what you have to do,
Mm-hmm.
and just beating the odds. I'm sitting right here in my house and the odds stacked against me.
Hey, I'm sitting right here in my house doing a podcast. You know, I would love to be in person with people interviewing, but I still got to make a show.
Like the odds, going against the odds. I'm writing a book called The Processes of Moving Mountains.
Tell me more about that.
I took all the bad shit in my life and turned them into short fictional stories.
Wow. So it's based on your stuff, but it's in fiction.
Yeah.
I like that. And so it gives like a little it's like a little lessons learned book.
Yes.
I love that. That is awesome. Look at you, magazine book, waiting for the Rona to be able to have a gala. I mean, you're unstoppable here, honey.
On paper. I still waiting on the right resources and the right eyes.
I think somebody will pick you up. I mean,
I do what I have to in the meantime.
You do have quite a following, and you mentioned that earlier. Like a lot of your following started when you did the photo shoot, but how did you continuously grow? Because the way like I was introduced to you was from someone telling me to follow you, and I recognized the fashion, but they also mentioned to me that you were great on, honing in on getting a great following. How did you obtain that?
Growing it fast was, I would say, up to about 65,000 people. Was share off just my thoughts. People fuck with what I think is fine. People fuck with what I think we should know. Like literally. Like I got asked one time, how do I stay politically correct and still manage to keep a following? My answer was simple. I don't. And that's why people fuck with me and they follow me. They know I don't give a fuck about no following. Like I lose on an average of 300 followers a day, and you ain't never even notice it.
Well, I think really.
Yes, literally. I can screenshot it and show you. I lose 300, gain about 500 to 1,000 a day.
Well, those that leave just can't handle your rawness, and I think
they can't.
Yeah, they can't, and I think that's kind of what the Black culture and Black community is. It's raw, it's unapologetic, it's in your face. Like, have you ever noticed when we watch like different movies or just anything about Black culture that is empowering, how it kind of scares society a little bit?
Yes, that Black Panther wave almost killed people.
Yeah.
They couldn't understand.
Yeah, I think that it's scary to see the society get scared of us.
Because they want. That's why you don't get those stories. You get trauma porn. Everybody always wanted to say it's important to know like civil rights movement. It's important to know Harriet Tubmans of the world or the Nate Turners. That's true. But our history didn't start with civil rights. Our history didn't start with slavery. And there's a lot of stories outside of that where people just beat the odds. Madam C.J. Walker just beat the motherfucking odds.
I mean, didn't she become a millionaire during the Spanish influenza? So
right. She wasn't getting whipped. She ain't had to worry about nobody but her clients and her slack ass husband.
Okay.
Like that's all she had to. We need to tell more pursuit of happiness. This man problem was within. And once he conquered that, that's pure Black excellence. But no. They want to give us trauma porn. I just finished watching the Fred Hampton movie.
Oh, the
Straight trauma porn.
Judas Black Messiah.
Straight trauma porn. It's a
Yeah.
dope movie. Straight trauma porn. They just want, they give us this stuff and then wonder why we so pissed the fuck off every damn day. We so pissed the fuck off because you give us trauma porn. Give us pure excellence. Like, this is the last trauma porn I'm gonna watch. Like, I'm not giving it my views anymore.
You just
I'm done because I'm tired of the narrative. Like,
you know, yeah. I mean, I have to pick and choose of what you're calling trauma porn that I can watch. And a lot of people will be like, well, why didn't you watch, 12 Years a Slave or any other movie? I'm like, because it makes me mad.
I still haven't watched the Harriet Tubman movie.
I did watch it. At the end, I cried because I felt the energy of what our ancestors felt in that moment, like, in the end.
I'm on some straight, like, show me some dope shit. Show me the story of like pure Black communities that just thrived on their own. Show me that shit. Show me the first Black real estate person that made it big. Like, show me some shit like that.
Show you something more empowering.
I'm tired of seeing us as slaves and people getting shot at 21. Like, I'm tired of it, personally.
No, I understand it. Like I said, it makes me mad to watch movies like that. And so I think you're right that we need more empowering stories that are going to uplift us and not make us angry to do something.
Because to me, it's a two-way street. Like, you telling us these stories, which we need to know, yes, but you're also re-empowering white people and reassuring their status in society. So now this motherfucker who been equal in his head, been equal with Black people his whole entire time. Now he's
Hello? I think we may have lost him. Oh, here we go. We're going to readmit.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're coming back in. It's all right.
Am I on?
No, I can't see you on camera yet. There you go. That's okay. So we can keep flowing. We can keep flowing.
Now these people are being re-empowered and reassured in society. Like, that shit just pisses me off.
Yeah. So do you think that kind of goes back to the quote, like us seeing that divide and how they tore us apart, or how, like you said, the trauma of the Black community, that it still tears Black men and women apart. And so they don't want us to get together and be powerful.
No, they don't. And a lot of times people don't, they know that's viewership. People gonna show up for the trauma part. They're not necessarily gonna show up for a Black excellence movie, but they will show up for the trauma part to see what the fuck was happening. Well, I think Hollywood figured that out a long time ago.
Well, do you also think it's because kids nowadays don't really get Black history in school, and it's
well, we almost never got Black history.
In a sense, no, we got a little bit of it, because I know for me, my father took it upon himself to teach my sister and I more. And with them not really doing anything on it in school now, my sister does the same thing with my nieces. So do you think people kind of go watch this stuff or go do this so that they can learn a different side of what maybe they were missing in school?
I think they do. But I think that's also a cop-out because, I don't know, I think kids today have more
resources.
Like they have way more resources than we. I'm 30. They definitely have more resources than when I was 15.
Don't make me feel old talking about you 30.
Like 15, 10, and 9. They got way more resources. We didn't have these Black excellence movies growing up like this shit right here. Or all the trauma porn. We didn't have that. I don't remember no movies like that when I was a kid.
I remember watching Eyes on the Prize. That's what I got.
That was about it. Every Martin Luther King Day, Eyes on the Prize. The cartoon, The Story of Martin.
I do remember that, but I do remember watching Eyes on the Prize, and I think when I got a little older, after watching Rosewood, I was done with what you call the trauma porn, because that
Rosewood was very traumatizing. Then you got Then you had like all the lean on me, all that stuff. I think we need to do more stuff. We need to do more. Like a lot of this stuff, people not even hiding it. It's just a Google search away.
Very true. Very true. So what do you
It's
think
not
we
like
can,
it's hidden.
right? It's not. So what do you think we can do more to promote that and love the Black community more and show more love for the Black culture in the excellence form?
Promote the positivity. It ain't even that hard. It's really simple. Promote the positivity, run online and offline. Like I speak in the community, like just bringing this stuff up.
Yeah.
People
Could
gonna
we
be
ever
curious.
see you doing or promoting a movie once Posh Standard gets to that level?
It depends on what the movie is, but
No,
yeah,
if it's a Black excellence movie, not one of these trauma movies.
yeah, of course,
I'd love to see that from you one day.
right. Facts.
I would, because the way you speak so passionate about it, I think that your media group will be, great for it, and that you would really showcase the excellence of it, like not showing the trauma.
Yeah, that's what they need.
That's what we need. I think we need some good medicine. All this other stuff is
Yes,
still bringing us down, huh?
facts.
So how do you feel about Black businesses and the growth of Black businesses? Where do you think we could do more?
I think we need black on black support
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to that, and black on black support that's not conditional.
Mm.
Like a lot of the black on black support is conditional. Excuse me. If I mess up your order, you want a solution or a refund immediately, as if this, as if it's that simple. Like let's say I make suits, you give me the wrong measurements and mess up your suit. Now you looking at D like I fucked up, but you only giving me one shot to get this right. So now you want a whole free suit or all your money back, as if I didn't have to pay for the material that cost for me to make the suit.
Mm-hmm.
People give places like McDonald's unlimited chances to fuck up their order. How many times did McDonald's fuck up your order and you still go back? How many times could Nova, Moe's, or any of these places like that fuck up your order and you still go back?
Mm-hmm.
All black businesses get is one shot. You label bad customer service or bad business, all that after one shot. Like so, it's like we have to get it right 100%, 110%, because they're gonna expect extra with the discount. Like I feel like people need to have more realistic expectation from black business.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think because a lot of Black businesses are small business and people don't think about what it takes to run a small business, and you don't have a lot of overhead like some of the other companies you've mentioned. So doing something for free or, giving all the money back immediately, it doesn't necessarily work like that.
Right.
Yeah, because it's not about that, having that overhead. Definitely. Definitely. So wrapping up, what advice can you give to my audience and to just anyone following you about just loving themselves more in the Black community? Because we talked about how you can do it more, but just loving their Blackness even more.
I say take the time out to learn who they are. Talk
Mm.
to your family, do a genealogy test. Take some pride in who you are. And once you create that pride, ain't nobody can take that shit away from you.
Well, you definitely have pride, Donovan. I appreciate you for coming on Tea Time with Monica today and sharing with us and your story and your work. Can you let my followers know how they can follow you, how they can reach out to maybe do something on your magazine or be promoted on your page?
Everything Posh Standard, the Posh Standard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty reputable now, so even if you just type the Posh Standard on Google, all my shit will come up.
I know that's right. Toot your own horn, honey. Yes. Well, again, thank you so much for this time and for this interview. You look amazing once again. Love the purple.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Audience, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Tea Time with Monica. Bye, loves.